band came through Sacramento. And Mike Pinder, the Moody Blues guy, my good friend, tried to get a note to Paul to say, hey, you're coming to my town. I'd love to come backstage and say hello. And they were old pals because the Moody Blues did the last tour with the Beatles of England. And so after the show, they'd go to the bar and they'd get pissed, as they say in England. And so they were pals. They were just good friends.
Good buddies.
Yeah, and so either the word didn't get to Paul or Paul was too busy, but no word came back to Michael, and Michael was really kind of crushed that Paul wouldn't respond. And so the next time, like 2 or 3 years later, Paul came through again, and I got word from Rusty Anderson, who was a friend of a friend, that he wanted this brand new Boss pedal. It was the new rotary, made your guitar or piano sound like a Leslie speaker. And he wanted one which was, the tour was going to start like in 2 weeks, something like that. And so I got a hold of Roland, and they said, that's a brand new product. It's not coming out for like 4 or 5 months. So, so I got a hold of the president of Boss, the Japanese president of Boss, and I said, Paul's guitar player, lead guitar player, wants one of these. So does his keyboard player, And by the way, the keyboard player also wants one of our accordions. Roland used to make accordions, modeled accordions, electric. And so I said, I'll call you back. So next day, Yoshi, is his name, Yoshi-san, called me back and said, we got you covered. He went down to the factory and had 2 of those pedals handmade. Wow. And he overnighted them, and I got my rep buddy, who's the New York rep, to hand deliver them and the accordion to their very first gig, which started in New York. So I talked to Rusty Anderson. I said, okay, I got this for you, but I want a little reciprocity. Okay, so I know you're coming to Sacramento, so I want tickets, I want backstage passes, and I want to bring my friend and Paul's friend, Michael Pinder, back to say hello to Paul. So he said, tickets no problem, backstage passes no problem, but I can't guarantee you that Paul's going to come out. Paul just doesn't do that. He doesn't come out to backstage. He stays in his secluded backstage traveling home area. So we're at backstage, and we got to meet Abe Laboriel and Rusty and all the whole band, and they were as gracious and cool as can be. And then it's 5 to 8. The show's supposed to start at 8 o'clock. And Anna's pulling on my arm going, we got to get to our seats. It's 5 to 8. The show's going to start. I said, hang on just a quick second. And right about then, Wicks, Paul Wicks, the music director, came up to me and he goes, just like that, didn't say anything. He just went like that. So he took us back to Paul's inner sanctum backstage, which is like his traveling living room. You walk in and he's got beautiful carpets and curtains and a beautiful spread of food and drink and low candle lighting, and it's just really, just super cool. What you would expect. So we go back there, and Michael sees Paul and Paul sees Michael, and Michael starts singing that song. Those were the days. Those were the days. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never.
Paul knew it too,
Well, and Paul saw Michael, and he starts singing. So, as these two friends that haven't seen each other in over 40 years, they're going to each other singing this song.
No.
And what I didn't know until I found it later is Paul had that song before Mary Clayton said it. Yeah. So Paul knew it was a hit. And he gave it to the Moody Blues and said, "This is a hit. You guys should check it out." Mary Hopkins, yeah. So Mike took to the boys, and they said, "Nah, not our cup of tea, but thank you very much." But anyway, so they had that thing, that song, that thing, and so they were singing it, and then they embraced it, and that was a really special moment that we all witnessed. So yeah, very cool. So anyway, he. I forgot who started the introductions, but he started talking to Mike's son, Matt, first. And Matt goes, "Hey, Paul, what kind of bass guitar gate strings do you use on your bass?" And Paul goes, "I don't know. I have somebody that takes care of that for me. I just play it."
Oh my God.
And I swear I have a zillion questions I wish I would have asked Paul, but the only thing I could think of when he was introduced to me and vice versa is I said, "Well, here's my wife Ann." And so Paul
Make out with my wife.
So Paul comes up and he goes, "Hello, darling," and he kisses her on both cheeks.
Oh.
And then we introduced Paul to Tara, Mike's wife, and he kissed her on both cheeks. So we're getting ready to go because it's Paul's holding up the show.
Yeah.
And then Michael goes, he's standing shoulder to shoulder with Paul. And I was like calm, cool, and collected the whole time. And then Michael goes, "Hey, Paul, remember we used to go to the Bag of Nails and we used to get pissed and we'd have to lean on each other to walk out of there?" And Paul goes, "Yeah, I remember that. Then he goes, "Hey, Michael, guess what?" He lifts up his pants. He goes, "Beetle boots. I lost it." I went, "Oh my God, Beetle boots!" I thought it was pretty cool until that moment. Beetle boots. I have some just like it.
We call that geeking out.
That's great. What a story.
That's a great story.
I think he shook my hand. I don't remember, but I think he did.